So the new year begins practically in March. Until then, we live mostly in the shadow of the previous year. From January 12, Mars is direct, but it does not come out of its retrograde shadow until March 15. Saturn leaves the sign of Aquarius after 2.5 years on March 8 and enters the sign of Pisces for the first time in 30 years. Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius for the first time after the year 1777, which is very important for the life of the collective. But it remains in Aquarius at the first degrees only until June 11th. Shortly after that, on April 20th, the first eclipse occurs on the Libra Aries axis, the first time after 18 years, and immediately after that in May there is another eclipse in Scorpio, so you see a very active spring we have. And so on about the transits. So in 2023, Saturn does not meet Neptune in the sign of Pisces. These two planets will make conjunctions only from the year 2025. And the first will be in June of 25 in the first degree of Aries. So there is no conjunction in Pisces, which is very important, but I'm not going to explain that in this video. Jupiter enters the sign of Pisces on May 17, but it also does not make the conjunction with Uranus in the sign of Taurus during the year 2023. They will make also conjunction only in April actually, of the year 2024. So to conclude for the beginning, the year 2023 is very challenging and significant, very stormy year, significantly different from the year 2022, but still it is a year of anticipation, occasionally also a year of careful evaluation of the situation, and preparations for the much more stormy and decisive year 2024. But now let's go back a little to remember how this started. Only then we will be able to understand what will happen next and why will that happen. So this what we are going through started in 2020, when three so-called great conjunctions happen in Capricorn and also significant great conjunction in Aquarius at the end of the year 2020. I recommend you to watch my videos on those topics as they are very important. It is not that happened in 2020 and the effect of this conjunction stays there. No, it influences us and actually more and more by the time. So those conjunctions are crucial. My videos on those topics are December 2020, the name of the video is that, and further, the court, Tantalean punishment, new man. The second video, Jupiter and Saturn, dead kings and pregnant crones. The third video, Jupiter Pluto 2020, conscience and fear. And the fourth video, the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, a moment in time. So if you saw those videos, you most probably know what is happening, but maybe you didn't, so maybe you should listen to them in order to understand what is happening now, later on, after these conjunctions. In the recommended video for December 2020, I especially talk about the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. This meeting of the two planets is called the Great Mutation and will significantly mark our era. To put it briefly, with this mutation, the people wake up and a new form of social arrangement is created, some new social order, and probably it will be different in different parts of the world, even if typologically somehow similar. However, the remaining three conjunctions that preceded the same year, preceded this Jupiter-Saturn in Aquarius, they actually meant the end of the existing ruling structures. So after that, somebody else will rule this world. After that, what happened in 2020? Of course, many will always think of the year 2020, that was the year of disease in question. But now when I look back at the events, it is very, very clear for me why everything happened through that disease in question and why it did not happen in any other way. Because Neptune is in Pisces, and Neptune is the strongest planet in our time, in this crazy, crazy time we live in. And also, let me add, Neptune is the strongest and absolutely dominant planet in the year 2023 also. So the great conjunctions in Capricorn marked not only the end of the so-called rulers of the world, but also their attempt to stay where they are and to rule in a different new way. And we know how, by chipping people through the chaos that was supposed to lead to a worldwide digital dictatorship. And now the question arises why everything is so difficult. Why it is not easier for them, what they have been creating for decades, to put on, or why is not easier for us to wake up and release? Why is not happening one or the other thing? Well, this is because it is not easy to break with that what is unbreakable, so to speak, not in them and in us. You know, we all have some unbreakable structures. And those very, very strong structures are symbolized with Capricorn and its ruler Saturn. Saturn represents the stone and the bone, or bone. And I guess you know what I'm trying to say, something that survives death. Bone survives death. So in us too, there are convictions, there are prejudices that we cannot abandon just like that. People are used to going to work, that someone pays them the salaries, checks them on the borders, collect taxes, give them mortgages as charities. Many are convinced that doctors maintain their lives, that schools teach them what is important to know in life, and so on and so on, you know. So these are all basically prejudice, you know, and they are still there where they are because we have this prejudice. So when asked when the end of this could be, I can say, based on astrology, it will be in the year 2025 to 2026. Those years actually already mark the beginning of something new, and I already spoke about that. Of course, there is a danger that we will destroy ourselves as a collective before, because self-destructive collective programs are very strong, unfortunately, I have to say. And why are they so strong? Well, because we live in the transition of epochs, and I explained that in that video that I recommended, Dead Kings and Pregnant Crones. And it means the old is dead and the new is not still born. So it is the time of chaos, which is some kind of a carnival, when all human values are turned upside down, and that continues still.